So I was looking at how much capital is going to be required to service. Let's just look at SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic. Depending on the float, it wouldn't be a standard 15%. And I'm assuming it would be a much smaller float, but it could be near $500 billion of new public equity issuance competing for the same institutional allocators. And then I was thinking, these are the same bodies, people, institutions, family offices that would be investing in venture funds, and obviously including European venture funds. So there's going to be a big draw somewhere else without as many eyes on us, which is, I think, problematic. Will these mega IPOs reopen the market, or will they drain it? Where is the challenge or opportunity for European markets? You could argue this is also an opportunity for us. And I've already shared my fun fact, which is every major 2025 IPO traded down. But what would you look at out of the IPOs? Anything you'd kind of poke in the eye?
I don't know. I mean, not to start on a down note, but you talk about opportunity.
Come on, Debbie Downer,
I mean,
bring it on.
Europe can't even. I mean, Europe. The latest IPO news in the tech market in Europe was that Visma, the SaaS company, pulled its IPO in February this year. So we can't even list a SaaS company. We've got to have
raised $4 million.
That is a big, like, Visma is a $20 billion company. At least it is valued in private markets that way. But we couldn't even get that away. However, I think it's interesting to talk about the ability of the public capital markets to absorb the primary capital being raised by these companies if all of these IPOs happen in the next 6 to 9 months. So to set the context here, in 2025, the total US equity capital formation, i.e. amounts of fresh capital raised in IPOs, was $231 billion. That's the whole of 2025. If you take SpaceX, OpenAI, and Anthropic, that potentially is about 240, 250. I think you said maybe $500 billion, Dan. I think it's more like 250.
It depends on the float. The numbers I was looking at were somewhere between 150 and 450, but it just depends on.
I'm talking about the primary capital being raised, right? So anyway, again, as I said earlier, the public capital markets equity is huge in the US. It's 68 trillion. So we're talking about here about a few $100 billion. So the market is big enough, but that is a lot of capital that needs to be raised when you look at the historic amount raised and absorbed by the market every year. So I think that's one of the reasons why there is rightfully a race to get these things away, and actually why Anthropic is now guiding towards October, whereas OpenAI is more like potentially early 2027. I think Sam Altman is on record as saying he is 0% excited about becoming CEO of a public company.
Yeah.
So I do think that is going to be something to watch. I mean, Elon wants a third of the SpaceX primary to be picked up by, or stock to be picked up by retail, which is quite a lot, which, would be very, very democratic of him.
And he wants all his bankers to download Grok, or so I read some silly something like that. Yeah.
But the IPO part actually is pretty cool. You got those 3 companies. You talked about Databricks, which is an absolute beast now. You got, and slightly more old school these days, Canva, although I think they're trying to pull together an AI.
Who are these SaaS providers? Although Canva, I've seen, is obviously moving seriously into the AI sphere.
No, of course, exactly. And my favorite, absolute avid user is Strava, looking for an IPO this year.
Are they?
Yeah, and Revolut, as you say, is the main European story there. Actually, I heard a little bird on the told me that secondaries on Revolut are now more like 120 billion. So actually, I think that the 75, 80 billion.
Well, I saw it. I mean, it was only 6 months ago. I was reading 55, and then today
it's
reading 75.
To 100 now, but it may well be well over that now. And we're going to, and most importantly, we're going to need to change the name of the Mag 7, aren't we?
What have you got a new acronym for us?
Well, I slightly mixing, but I thought if you add Anthropic there, it would be the Mag 7. But then it's the Mag 10 now.
Trump will have it. Is it?
Yeah.
I was going SpaceX first.
You have to displace 2 or 3.
Spjauma.
One thing, a bit like, probably, where does the money come from to buy the shares in these companies and to, both at the primary and secondary in the IPOs? Like, well, people are going to
draw oxygen from somewhere else, right?
Correct.
Where's it going to come from? I mean, who would you,
Tesla? I don't know. Could be right pocket, left pocket for Elon Musk.
he's fine with that. He'll just bundle it in over a period of time. It'd be fine.